If you look at the guys that you saw on the screen, it really helps when you're recruiting in this conference and you've got a nucleus of players from your home state. We signed a third of our class will be kids from the state of Indiana. The three of us are from the state of Indiana. You two did a lot better here than I did, but we'll get some of these football players from the state doing a heck of a job for us, and what a difference that makes.
And I think you talked about the speed. You're working on getting speed into these guys, whether they're linemen or linebackers.
Well, I think we really addressed our team speed, really almost position by position, but the one thing we've got to continue to do is get some guys that can really run in the 4-3s, 4-4s, guys that can make a difference. I know, again, I've said a lot of times, Ted's a big fan, and I know you'd be looking forward to us having some guys that can go the difference and make some plays for us.
Yes, sir. I mean, as soon as you can get some linebackers, like the Florida State linebackers that I watched play against Ohio State and some of those guys, then
it's really pretty simple, isn't it?
And you know what? It'll make you such a better coach, too. You know?
I think it will. So you can see what I have to deal with these two guys. But recruiting went good.
That's great.
Everybody's been positive, and we're excited about next year.
All right. Best of luck in spring ball. We're looking forward to next season, Cam. Thanks for being with us today.
Okay.
IU football coach Cam Cameron, a successful recruiting year for Indiana. Time now for your internet questions, brought to you by Ameritech Cellular and Paging. Dial 1-800-MOBILE-1 for the location nearest you. Here's our first question. Ken Kenfor, will it be revealed tonight?
Well, I know, but I've been told not to tell.
Oh, and you can keep a secret, huh?
That's right. I can keep a secret. Now, I'm not going to tell my wife, because I'm afraid it might get out then. but we do know, but you'll have to ask AJ. And maybe
he prefers not to let it be known. So it's AJ, and it'll be that way as far as we're concerned. Our next question, Rick Fostel writes, why is Ted so critical of the team? I don't want a neutral commentator. I want one that's biased for IU. Now, that's kind of interesting. Also, what do you think of Andre and Charlie's chances of playing in the NBA?
Well, let's address the first part of the question first. Why am I so critical, and why is there not a biased announcer? Well, I mean, if you were to ask different people throughout the state, some people probably think I am a bit biased. But as far as why I'm critical, I really try not to be critical. But I hear people complaining, wanting to know why aren't we winning Big Ten championships? Why aren't we playing for NCAA titles? Well, when people continue to make the same type of mistakes, mental errors, game after game after game, that's why you're not winning Big Ten championships. That's why Coach Knight's a little upset, you know, when people continue to turn the ball over 20 times a game. So really, I try not to be critical. I just try to point some of the things out that maybe we need to do a little bit better.
Good thought there. All right, our next question. Oh, you didn't answer about Charlie.
As far as Andre and Charlie, I mean, I really don't. I think they both have the athletic ability to play in the NBA, especially Andre. But you know, I think it comes down to how much heart do you have. Andre, I think, should be a much better player than we've seen him, you know, through his career. He's got tremendous talent, and we've seen that at times. But when you get in the NBA, I mean, you aren't going to have anybody pushing you other than yourself, so you're going to have to get out there and do it. I'm sure he'll have a chance. I'm sure Charlie will have a chance, but there's a lot of awfully good players out there in that league.
All right, when we come back, we'll hear from Chalk Talk with Coach Knight. Time now for the Sunoco Fueling Factors, brought to you by Sunoco. Come to the sun at your neighborhood Sunoco location or Fast Max convenience store.
For Indiana, the two things continue to come time after time: ball handling, turnovers, 19 or more the last 3 out of the last 4 games. Indiana averaging 14 when they win, 20 when they lose. Indiana needs to handle the basketball. And block out, rebounding, very, very important. In league play, IU has been out-rebounded on the offensive end, 129-89.
Too many good looks.
Well, Pete Lasicki has had that bullseye on the jersey all season long. And another burden tonight will fall on freshman point guard Joe Crispin. Coach Jerry Dunn says it's imperative that Penn State handle the basketball. That's Crispin's job. It's the Hoosiers and the Nittany Lions coming up next as we'll take a look at the starting lineups.
If you're ready for the most incredible deals of the year, shoot into your Indiana Ford dealer's inventory tax clearance. Ring up $1,500 cash.
Lions see his career record there, 1980 graduate of George Mason. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Sagamore Health Network.
And for the Nittany Lions of Penn State, at the forward, you've got Carl Jackson and Titus Ivory. Only a freshman. Inside you got Calvin Booth, big 6'11" junior. He'll pose some problems for Indiana. And at the guard, you got Joe Crispin taking over for Danny Earl, who went out early with a knee operation. And Pete Litsky, great jump shooter for Indiana. No change. William Gladness, Luke Recker at the forwards, Andre Patterson inside. Michael Lewis, 16 of 20 from the free throw line against Minnesota. And 10 assists. And Indiana's leading scorer, A.J. Guyton, coming off a big game with 23 against the Gophers.
And Bob Knight, 15-3 against Penn State. We'll be back with the starting lineups after this. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network. Tonight in Bloomington, Indiana, Penn State and Indiana ready to tip off this Big Ten game. Here are the matchups for the big guys inside. Calvin Booth, the shot blocker for Penn State. Andre Patterson, the go-to guy inside for Indiana.
Calvin Booth is an excellent shot blocker, number 3 in the country, so he's a guy with long arms. He'll come over. When you see A.J. Guyton, Michael Lewis drive in for layups, they have to know he's going to be there. But I think you'll see Andre Patterson, William Gladness try to drive the ball at him, a little shot fake, try to lean in. He's not a real big, strong, powerful guy. You'd like to get him in foul trouble if at all possible.
6'11", 225 is how the big guy goes. Here's the series. Indiana leads it 11-1 and undefeated here in Assembly Hall. Patterson and Booth will match up for the tap as well. And here we go. Booth extends that big arm and controls the tap. Tom Rucker, Eric Harmon, and Randy Drury are Big Ten officials tonight.
See Michael Lewis out on Lisicky. You want to make him put it on the floor. He didn't make him put it on the floor right there. It's still a pretty good job by Michael Lewis. Takes a very tough shot.
Man-to-man defense by both teams to start. Here's Gladness inside. And Booth blocks that one.
Almost a goaltend, but I think he got it before. Good recognition by Andre Patterson getting back down the floor. He saw the ball rather than just turning his head and running down the floor. He did a nice job finding the basketball.
Guyton matched up with Lisicky, goes right around him.
You can see right there, Calvin Booth took that layup away from A.J. Guyton. Anybody else, he'll lay that ball up and scores 2 points, but he's afraid of Calvin Booth right there.
Gladness behind the back to Recker. And Guyton again. Now switch, Booth out on him.
He's got to take him. Oh, he's got to take him right there.
Shot clock at 3. Guyton misses from the outside, and Gladness follows. Tip is by Recker.
Sure enough, good job. You can see Calvin Booth. That's 2 blocked shots in less than 2 minutes. But if you keep taking it in there like Indiana's going to, Calvin Booth's going to get in foul trouble. Calvin Booth's going to get tired.
Patterson right up on him. This is Joe Crispin, young freshman, playing very well for the Nittany Lions.
Looks very good guy for Indiana. Try to put a lot of pressure on Crispin, as you mentioned. Excellent touch by Booth right there. You can see a wonderful touch.
Spun to that left shoulder and hit that one. Patterson inside.
If you're an Indiana fan, you have to wonder why you don't see that more often right there. The enthusiasm, the hard play from Andre Patterson.
Indiana by 2. 54 is Carl Jackson, big 6'8" forward. Here's Crispin. There's Jackson inside. Down goes Recker. That leaves Ivory open. Titus Ivory, 6'4" freshman, gets his first 2. Patterson beats the Booth down again.
Lisicky just snuck right in there. Patterson's so worried about Calvin Booth, he didn't get the blocked shot. Just well him.
And Booth at the other end jams it down, passed by Crispin. Penn State leads now by 2.
For Indiana, I don't think you can be so concerned about Calvin Booth. You can't make him change your shot each and every time. He's going to foul you. You've got to just continue to take the shots and take it at him. See, big wingspan when he spreads those arms out. Indiana with much more quickness outside.
Patterson gets that shot over Booth and down.
A.J. Guyton much quicker than Crispin out on the point. Andre Patterson much quicker than Calvin Booth.
A whistle away from the ball. That's Michael Lewis on a hold, trying to stay with Lisicky.
Lisicky very clever coming off of screens. You see, he's going to make it look as though Michael Lewis is holding him right there. He got caught with the hold.
That's the first on Lewis and first foul of the game. Penn State starts 2 freshmen, Ivory and Crispin. That's Ivory, 33. Jackson comes away with it.
Good help defense by Indiana.
Booth takes the outside shot.
Good pressure by Andre Patterson right there.
Indiana tries to get the break. Good move by Guyton. Leaves Recker open. 3-pointer by Recker.
Excellent ball movement by Indiana. You see Guyton really hurts teams when he penetrates. Penetrated, got Booth, then they passed it around. Luke Recker ends up with the shot.
Outside shot, and that's a 3-pointer. Ivory with the basket. Both teams hot from the start. Tie score now at 9. Patterson again takes Booth in and draws the foul.
They're going to keep going at him time after time. You saw that time how Andre Patterson got just a little bit of an edge, and then he really leaned in body-wise. Against a guy like Calvin Booth, you want to make sure you get into his body. As long as he's away from you, that long wingspan, he's going to knock shots away. But as soon as you get into him body-wise, then he can't jump. You know, he can't use that tremendous height advantage he has over you.
Patterson hits the first substitution for Penn State. Jared Stevens in.
When he comes in for Booth, it'll be much different now. Indiana has to realize that they can take that shot up inside now. But Andre Patterson has been a real force in the first 4 minutes of this basketball game.
First foul on Booth, and Patterson hits both. Indiana by 2. First 4 minutes of the game. Switch as Guyton now has Lasicki inside pass to Stevens, and he dumps it home.
You can see he jumps pretty well. He's kind of got the Charles Barkley look when Barkley was in college.
Guyton threw a pass, deflected away, stepped on the line, out of bounds to Penn State. It's all even early from Bloomington. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus network.
Teams very hot off the start. Both teams shooting well over 50%. It's 11-11 tie, Indiana and Penn State. Let's take a look at Penn State, how they got that 11th point. You can see Jared Stevens right down here. A switch by Indiana in the lane. Jared Stevens. William Gladness gets caught behind, and he's a big man. I'll bet Joe Paul over there sees him and says, boy, I bet I could use him as a lineman for the Nittany Lions of Penn State football team.
6'6", 255 listed in the program. There you see Penn State well over 50%. Indiana about their norm.
And for 6'6", 255, he could really move, very agile, and he jumps well.
Crispin in the lane. Shot off, and the rebound. Inside is Carl Jackson, and Patterson finally brings it down.
Andre Patterson still very active. He was up and down about 3 times while everybody else was only up and down once or twice. Oh, what a move.
A.J. Guyton on the baseline.
See, when Calvin Booth's not in there, you can see the fear goes away. He's made that move a couple times. The other times he threw it back out. That time he's not in there. Calvin Booth being not in there, and A.J. Guyton lays it in.
Good pressure by Recker right in front of the Indiana bench. Crispin had 23 in the Penn State win against Iowa. Here's Lasicki, the shot he likes.
You can see very seldom does he put the ball on the floor. Michael Lewis has got to get up into him and make him drive the basketball.
Lasicki averaging almost 15 a game, and whistle.
I think that's on Carl Jackson.
It is. Jackson picks up the foul.
Good recognition by Andre Patterson. As Andre Patterson saw Jackson, he comes out on him right away, drives to the basket, and good recognition by the team, clearing out, giving Andre room to drive the basketball.
Patterson much more aggressive in tonight's game when he's received the ball.
Andre's got to get on a block.
Lewis with a cut low.
Good hands. I don't know how he came up with that.
Now Gladness.
Oh, he's got to shoot that. Great pass.
He got the record for the basket.
Good interior passing. Maybe one too many. You'd like to see William Gladness go with that little jump hook that he's very good with, but good hands by Luke Recker to lay that ball in.
7 of Indiana's 15 now scored by Recker. Indiana by 2.
Penn State's still very hot, shooting almost 70% from the field.
Lasicki adds to that, a 3-pointer well beyond the arc. As he starts to warm up.
He's never seen a bad shot, but he'll keep putting it up there. Timeout. Good call by Michael Lewis.
Wanted to avoid the 5-second call, so he calls the timeout.
I'm sure they'll use it.
20-second timeout by Indiana. This 20-second timeout is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Here's the upcoming schedule for Indiana. They're off this weekend. Then the big rematch at Purdue, West Lafayette. Only 2 home games for Indiana after tonight, and 4 on the road.
There's some must ball games in there, some must win ball games, because this Indiana team, the seniors that are here, have not fared well at Purdue, and I'm sure Purdue remembers very well last month when they were here in Bloomington, and I'm sure they'll be ready for that Tuesday night game.
Bob Knight with 331 Big Ten victories, the all-time leader in that category. Looking to increase that by 1. 6 ties and 3 late changes already in tonight's game, and both teams tearing it up from the field. Indiana hits again to grab the lead back by 1.
Either team really taken over defensively. You see Lasicki, that's 3 in a row. He didn't get that one. Good block out by Andre Patterson, didn't come up with it.
Ivory pulled it down but missed the shot. Guyton pulls up for 3.
When he really gets that ball set in his hand and he gets his wrist cocked, he really shoots the basketball well. We saw him shoot 5 for 10 against Minnesota.
Really uses those legs.
William Gladness just a little late. He recognized it earlier in the year. He probably wouldn't even have recognized it. He recognized it but didn't get there quite in time.
Substitutions now. Rob Turner and Charlie Miller come in for Indiana. Yossi Klein-Hurd for Penn State, 6'7" freshman. Number 23 now in. There's Miller. Had 6 rebounds against Minnesota on Saturday.
Charlie's been very, very active for Indiana. He's not only rebounding the basketball for the minutes played. For the minutes played, as you see, Penn State gets the 5-second call, not able to get the ball in bounds. For the minutes played, he's going to the free throw line much more than anybody else on this Indiana team. That usually tells you that he's a little bit more active inside.
Indiana now by 4.
Turner just ran right out of his shoe. Right.
There you see 23's putting that shoe back on. Kind of easy to defend. He's got it on. It's not tied, but at least it's on. Record to the hoop.
And he got it.
And count that basket, and he'll go to the line.
See, that was a deception move. That's what it was. He ran out of his shoe. The Penn State team looked over, and then Recker makes the move to the basket. See right there. Lasicki looked over for just a second. Good job by Luke Recker. Great play. Klein not able to get over there.
Recker having a fine freshman year for Indiana. 10 points already in the first half for the freshman. Indiana now by 7.
Without Booth and without Lasicki in there, Penn State really got to lean back, make Stevens take some tough shots, which that was right there.
Good rebound that time by Klein-Hurd.
Coach Knight up off the bench, not very happy. It looked like Luke Recker might have got a shove by Harold. Take a look at it. Take a look at it down inside. You're going to see the shot. Now to the right of your screen, watch Recker go up to rebound. You can see just kind of flies by, but good strong move by Harold right there, and he'll go to the line for 2.
See, he's got the hyphenated name, Klein-Hurd.
I'm not even going to attempt all that. Just can I just stay with Hurd?
Got number 23.
23 Hurd. All right.
Ivory leaves with 5 points. So Penn State going to several substitutions to keep fresh players in.
That's the boat.
Turner with that board. So Indiana's now pulled out to a 7-point lead.
Now you would think in this situation, Rob Turner would see the mismatch. He needs to get inside, post up, and take advantage. Recker instead sees the same thing. Crispin trying to guard Luke Recker. They're just not very big with this lineup in there with Greg Grays and Crispin both in there.
Penn State needs a timeout. 22nd timeout as Indiana has moved its lead up to 9 points. This 22nd timeout is brought to you by Spies. And here's Penn State's remaining games. Brought to you by McDonald's.
You can see it's a tough schedule. They've got some tough teams to play. They got to go to Wisconsin, or they've got to go to Northwestern. Northwestern not bad at home. At Minnesota, and then they've got Purdue, Michigan. Awfully tough schedule for the Nittany Lions. We'll see when Indiana gets back down on the offensive end if with this lineup in again. If Rob Turner, I would think that Coach Knight would have liked to have seen him spread it out and get that ball to Rob Turner down on the block. He's very crafty with the ball anyway, especially when there's a guy about 5 inches smaller than he is on it.
Patient offense by Penn State. Shot clock at 9. Crispin way outside is off. Here's Guyton. Slows it up.
Now Grays is on Recker. Watch for Recker. He'll try to take him inside.
Grays is 6 foot, 185. Now the switch again. Recker's alone.
Didn't look like he had that ball in his hand as he got ready to shoot it.
Stevenson, quick move to the hoop, and Recker in good position draws the charge. So Indiana's moved the lead out to 9. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network.
Snowy Bloomington, where Indiana's pulled out to a 25-16 lead. Take a look at two of the game breakers. Pete Lisicki, you can see he's a senior, has been a great player for Penn State the last 4 years, averaging almost 15 points a game. You can see he's an outstanding free throw shooter. Shoots almost 93%. Catch and shoot, that's what he likes to do. If you're a defensive guy, you need to have him put it on the floor. A.J. Guyton, Indiana people have watched him play. You can see when he really gets that ball set in his hand, cocked the wrist, he's deadly. Minnesota found out on Saturday.
Luke Jimenez now in the lineup for Indiana. Recker trying to post up inside, being guarded now by the taller Lisicki.
Luke Jimenez comes off a great game against Minnesota. Obviously, Luke Jimenez from Minnesota. Came in 4-4 against the Gophers from the field.
Patient offense. Here's Gladness, spinning move inside. Just off the front rim. Booth back in the lineup for that rebound. Grays pulls up and hits it. Greg Grays.
Good play by Grays right there. Good defensive play by Luke Jimenez. He took the layup away, going to make him hit the 10-footer, but Grays did an excellent job reading the defense and knocking down the little jump shot.
Turner. Gladness again inside. Booth can't block that one. Miller on the rebound.
Indiana just keeps taking the ball inside. And Charlie Miller, I talked about him when he came in the basketball game, being one of the more active players. You like to see Gladness. He travels right there, got away with the travel, but look at Charlie Miller going after the basketball, gets fouled from behind, and Stevens comes over and he'll shoot 2.
Miller hits the first. Andre back in the lineup.
We talked about Charlie Miller. You know, he's taken 29 free throws. That's his 30th free throw in the conference. The leader being Michael Lewis. Now, it's not a good sign when your guards are leading the team in free throw shooting, unless it's a Steve Alford, you know, a team that is obviously working to get him shots. He's going to get fouled. But Andre Patterson so far this year only taken 24 free throws in the conference. That's about 2.5 a game. He needs to get to the line about 7 or 8 times a game for Indiana to really be effective in their offense.
Crispin took a spill there right in the lane. Has recovered though. Miller hits both free throws. Indiana back up by 9.
Yeah, much better defense right there. Luke Jimenez really up into Pete Lisicki, maybe put it on the floor. Still got a good look, but he's just not as comfortable coming off the dribble with the basketball.
And to his left as well.
Right there, Luke Jimenez. You'd like to see Luke Jimenez when that defender gets out around him like that.
Turner in the lane, little jump shot, good. And that's Indiana's biggest lead now at 11.
Coach Knight would like to see Rob Turner get more situations like that. Rob Turner really, really good once he gets down inside what we used to call the paint. There's not much paint down there now, but down inside the 15-foot mark, Rob Turner really good, whether he's got the shot or whether he's getting somebody else a layup.
Gray shovels his feet on the turnover. Here's the action inside.
You can see Crispin not as big, but Crispin very, very feisty. You can see Coach in the background. Great little fake right there, but the coach was trying to get a foul right there. But as long as Crispin's in the game, they're going to go at him. He's not quite as big, and inside they're going to try to take advantage of his height.
Recker pops out. Patterson trying to find the lane. Good pick by Recker. Patterson follows it in.
Good strong move by Andre Patterson. First of all, on the baseline, he missed the shot but went right. But you see he's very quick off of his feet tonight, really going up after that basketball.
8 points now for Patterson, so good early scoring for the senior.
Big possession for Penn State. They need to get it inside the Booth, get a good look, or you'd think they'd want it in Lasicki's hands. That's not the shot they're looking for right there. Good block out by Charlie Miller in Indiana.
Just glances off the rim. Indiana down quickly. Patterson tries to post up. Traveling on Recker. He moved that pivot foot. Found his way to the lane.
Lasicki really bumping Recker as he came across the lane right there, Coach Knight.
Kleinherd back in the lineup. So Indiana by 13. Quick first half. 8:20 left.
Luke Recker a little winded right now. He looked over at the bench, kind of pulled on his jersey as if he wanted to come out. I was always afraid to do that, afraid I might never get back in.
I hear you there. Booth inside, missed. Jimenez comes away with it. Turner and on the left side, oh, spin move. And the basket. My goodness.
He is really, really good with the basketball. And if a guy comes over where he can't get the shot off, he'll end up giving it to somebody else with a layup. There, Recker.
Recker with the steal. This crowd on its feet. Spin move and banks that one in.
He's very tired, but you can see him right there. He's really tired, pulling on his jersey again. 2 big plays by the Indiana team right there.
Timeout, the next dead ball as we're under the 8-minute mark.
Indiana's really went on a big spurt here. Penn State stayed close the first 8 minutes of the basketball game.
That crowd chanting now. Oh, good fake by Lasicki.
But again, making him put it on the floor, he's just not as effective right there. Even though he got the good fake, they got a better look, but they didn't come up with the basket.
Turner for 3. He hits the outside shot.
We saw him earlier in the year against Kentucky. He scored about 19 points in about the first 13 minutes. He's a great offensive player.
20-second timeout by Penn State. This 20-second timeout is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. And we mentioned Booth, the Big Ten blocks leading team is Penn State, thanks to Booth. Indiana, middle of the pack at 3.8 per game.
And I think if you look at that when it talks about blocks and remember where each of these teams are in the standings, that tells you how important that stat is.
Right, Penn State near the bottom. And Michigan State nowhere to be seen. They lead the pack.
Take a look at Rob Turner. Great spin move. And the defender's coming over. He feels him. Still gets it in the basket. Just tremendous body control right there to not only not get the charge, not get the foul, and yet come up with the basket.
This crowd standing now as they like what they've seen. Lasicki outside hits the 3.
The difference right there. That time he didn't have to put the ball on the floor. He's got great hop when he comes off that screen, ready to shoot the basketball.
Patterson posts up. Tried to catch that with one hand. Ball slipped out of his hand.
Tough pass right at his feet.
Patterson not ready for it. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network. By 17 now are Penn State. Great run by the Hoosiers to move into that big lead. Other scores from around the country. Kentucky and LSU. That one down in Louisiana. Michigan State and Ohio State in a Big Ten battle. Kansas and Iowa State, no score yet. And Illinois, Minnesota, the Illini with the early lead. Indiana. Booth is not scoring well yet, and that is the reason Indiana took a 23-2 run to move the score. They are now up by 17.
Indiana wanting him to Lisicky to put the ball on the floor. Calvin Booth had a little jump shot he hit early in the game when it was tight.
Ivory off with that shot. Ball deflected away, though, out to Lisicky. Booth works his way right in and gets the hoop.
You've got to get the ball inside to Calvin Booth. He's much bigger, and with that long wingspan, he's going to find some shots inside.
6 now for Booth.
Oh,
Guyton, the crossover move. Lay-in is good.
Little Allen Iverson move right there. Give him the little shake, and around we go.
7 now for Guyton. Lisicky.
Good block out by Andre Patterson. You see Calvin Booth a little winded right now. Indiana really trying to run the basketball as much as possible up and down the floor.
Good defense by Lisicky. Came around that screen. Patterson off. Here's Turner. Shot won't go. He tried to put that off the backboard.
A little bit of a circus shot. I think he felt he was going to get the foul.
Crispin inside misses. Lay-in, though, on the rebound by Klein Hurd, and a foul.
That's what Coach Knight's talking about right there. I mean, he talked about the 30 minutes of good play against Minnesota and the 10 minutes of very, very poor play. Here we see Calvin Booth. You can see he's very, very big, just kind of moved inside. Nobody going to block that shot. Got whacked across the face, no foul. But right there, that's just a lazy play. It ends up into a three-point play for Penn State. A good, strong play.
Stevenson comes in for Lisicky. First break for the senior. 14.5 points a game.
He's just not going to get many breaks. He's one of the main guys as far as scoring points for this team. Without him in the basketball game, they have a very difficult time, because if he's not in there, then people really start laying back in the middle on Calvin Booth.
Patterson in the lane. Now's got the pass.
Andre Patterson doing an excellent job fighting down low, but the other thing he's doing is he's staying up high enough that whenever Calvin Booth comes around him and has to front, then they can throw it over the top. Sometimes he gets so low on the baseline, there's no place to go when you do catch it down there.
10 points now for Patterson. Whistle inside and a foul. That one on Ivory as he tried to move through the inside. That's a push.
You can see how high Andre Patterson has got Calvin Booth right now. He's got him all the way up to the free throw line, gives him a tremendous amount of area to work underneath. Good move right there. You can see he has to go up high. Good hands and the finish. Good pass inside to Andre Patterson. Once again, there it is.
He saw Klein Hurd come over, tried to lead a pass in, went out of bounds.
There's no pass right there. I mean, that when you get the ball down in there and you're Andre Patterson and you're as talented as he is, you've got to score, or at least attempt scoring. You've got to take the ball up on the basket.
Turnovers. Indiana averaging 19 over the last few games. Pretty good here in the first half. That foul will go on Charlie Miller. On the hole, out of bounds. Only Indiana's 5th team foul. Penn State was 6, so neither team in the bonus yet. That's 3 fouls now on Miller. He did not start the game, and now has picked up his 3rd foul. Gladness will check in for Miller.
Indiana able to stick a lot of different players. Early in the year, there wasn't the confidence factor of being able to put that many players for Indiana. Now they can go about 10 deep. Look at him pull up on a dime.
Patterson. Yeah, that shot blocked, but Booth will pick up the foul.
You just keep taking it in there. I know Andre Patterson doesn't like to get the shot blocked, but I mean, if you can get two or three shots blocked and pick up 1 foul, it's very, very important. You just got to keep taking it in there. Calvin Booth picks up his 2nd foul.
Big foul as Booth is their leader inside. He'll come out for the rest of the half. Stevens will check in for him. Can't substitute till after the free throws.
Take a look inside. Guyton pulls up on a dime. Look at Patterson go up strong, take it right back up, and you can see Calvin Booth a little tired, kind of standing straight up. Didn't have very good flex in the knees.
Patterson in and out. Now the substitutions come in. Recker and Lewis for Indiana.
Coach Dunn's got to get him out of there. He's such an important player. There's no way, and he knows Indiana with 3:52 left would go right back at him if they had the chance.
Pick up that 3rd foul. Patterson now with 11 as Indiana's extended its lead again. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network. 43-26, it's Indiana as we near the end of this first half. You can go online with the Big Ten Conference and get stats and information on your favorite team and the Big Ten. The home page is on the World Wide Web at www.big10.org.
I think it'll be interesting to see how this Indiana team reacts. I mean, they've got it up to 17. They've played extremely well. I'm sure Coach Knight's been pounding on them a little bit over the past 2 or 3 days. Their performance the last 10 minutes of that Minnesota game. Let's see if they can take this 17-point lead and slowly but surely build on it.
Inside play, stolen by Gladness. Good weak side help. He takes it all the way down. Hey, playing a point guard there.
I said, I was getting ready to say, everybody at home said, you're saying he give it up. And yeah, I was saying he ought to give it up. And he did give it up. Luke Recker was the one who was the recipient. Got 2 easy points. Good run by the big men from Indiana.
Recker picks up that foul on the defensive end.
Take a look at the steal. Good recognition. See it? Good job coming over, reading. You can see how he's helping over William Gladness early in the year. You can see how he runs the stops inside, doesn't get a charge.
Well, Lisicky loves that out of bounds play. He just gets right behind that line and lets it fly. Misses that one. Here's Lewis in the game. Turner will try it.
Oh, goodness, does he feel it tonight?
He's picked up on Lisicky there and said, I can try that too. 10 points now for Turner.
Ever since he blew that tennis shoe off his foot, he's done nothing but good things for Indiana.
Baseline shot by Stevenson is good for Penn State. 20-point lead for Indiana. 3 minutes left. First half. Lisicky, a good matchup now with Recker in the lane.
See, Michael Lewis got caught. He was cutting into the lane. This one, you ought to use a 20.
Turner picked it up in the corner. Gladness on the baseline, bounced it off his foot and out of bounds.
See, a lot of dribbling with the basketball, not much cutting. That's when Michael Lewis, kind of the leader of the team, the point guard, really needs to pull it out, reset it, and say, come on, guys, let's get some screens. Indiana team's found it's very easy to score, and everybody wants a part of that right now.
Richardson in the game for Indiana, out on Stevens. Good pressure by Lewis that time. Lisicky went right over him. 10 now for Pete Lisicky. Gladness baseline, and good movement that time by Stevenson. There to draw the charge. 2 fouls on Gladness.
Take a look at it right down here on the right in front of us. You can see the defensive player obviously moving. Not a very good call by the official. But more than anything, the Indiana team trying to go one-on-one here rather than gather points by screening. Good cutting down in the middle. Either that or just posting people up inside. That's how they got that big lead to start with.
Lisicky passes this one up to Stevens for the layup. Good look inside by Lisicky.
Indiana had it up to 19. Now it's back to 16.
22 has been the biggest lead.
See Indiana doing a lot of standing. You see one guy gets the basketball, and then you got 4 guys that stand around and watch. Here we go. There's no screening away from the basketball, no cutting.
Richardson over the back for that rebound as Turner took a shot off a pass. So Indiana's offense the last several times down the floor, not effective.
See Coach Knight talking to Luke Recker. He's talking to him about those same type of things, you know. That's a problem. When you get a guy like Rob Turner who's so talented, a lot of times when he gets the basketball, everybody wants to stand around and watch because they know that he can make the move. He can get to the basket. He has no problem finding shots. But Indiana's offense really set up for all 5 guys, moving, screening, making it tough on the defense. It's not a one-on-one game.
Indiana now over the limit, 1-1 for Stevens.
If you want to see the one-on-one game, you need to stay tuned later on. The Pacers and the Sonics will be playing later, right?
Right after our game. tonight. Recker drives in the lane and a foul. 45, Scott Witkowski, 7-foot freshman, 270 pounds. There's the big guy. Came all the way from Littleton, Colorado to go to Penn State. And Recker goes to the line, already above his average. 17 now.
Luke Recker gets so many points off of just loose basketballs, off of fast breaks. I mean, very seldom does he just get points as far as in the setup offense, and I think that's a real plus for Indiana. They don't really have to set up anything for him. They know he's going to get his 15, 16 points a game just on pure hustle.
Stevens' outside shot is off. Stevenson with the rebound lays it in.
Stevenson much stronger inside. About a 4-second difference on the shot clock. See what Indiana decides to do. Going to run the regular offense, not worry about where the shot clock is.
Recker forces one in the lane. It's off. Robbie Eggers in for that rebound. Can't get it. Now Penn State will hold for the last shot. At least Jerry Dunn signaled for it. And now Grays brings it out.
You would think they'd get 2 or 3 screens for Pete Lasicki. You would think he would be the guy they would want shooting that basketball. Michael Lewis way up on him. Bad shot right there. Just not a very good shot.
Over everything. 4 seconds. Let's see if Indiana gets the shot. Lewis. Not a bad looking shot. Falls just short. But a fine first half by Indiana nonetheless. They hit the half-century mark and they lead it 50-36. Jerry Dunn tries to regroup at halftime. You're watching Big Ten basketball.
6 from three-point land. Indiana played an outstanding half. You can see they rebounded the basketball very well. Penn State did a nice job. Shot the ball pretty well, 44%. Hung in there. They're only down 14. At one time they were down 19. So doing a nice job. Penn State did a nice job coming off the bench, getting 15 points from their bench.
They scoring leaders for the first half for Penn State. Lasicki at 10. No surprise there. Indiana, Recker already over his average by 5. He's got 18, Patterson 11, and Rob Turner has 10 points. When we come back, we'll have the tip of this second half. You're watching. Let's take a look at how the big matchup inside has turned out. Booth with 6 points, only 2 block shots. And Patterson done some scoring for Indiana, 11 points and 6 rebounds. Good half for Indiana's big man.
I think it's important for both of those guys to come out depending on what team gets off to a good start here. You'd think that Penn State would really want to take the ball down inside to Calvin Booth. You can bet that Indiana's going to take it at Booth on the other end of the floor.
LSU now with the lead over Kentucky at the half. Michigan State handling the Buckeyes easily. Iowa State and Kansas later, and Illinois with the lead over the Gophers. And we are underway, second half.
Kentucky struggling after that loss to Florida. Good hands by Patterson to come up with that basketball.
Recker the shot fake, and Booth may have had him change that shot a little bit.
He didn't get the block, but he just well have, because Luke Recker had to put it way up in the air, and because of that he missed the shot.
Lewis right up on Lasicki. Here's Booth inside. Patterson let him get inside position, and the rebound by Lasicki.
Remember, this Indiana lead was at 19 at one time. Now it's down to 12. This is an Indiana team that's had trouble holding leads.
Lewis picks it up. Here's Gladness. Bad passing angle there that slipped right out of bounds.
It's just lazy pass right there. Rather than taking one dribble to the left, getting in position, you just try to throw that pass. You've got to do things the right way. Coach Knight not very happy with that trip down the floor.
Penn State can cut it to 10 here. Lasicki and Booth on the same side. Good move on the baseline. Crispin can't get the shot. Gladness tries his hand at the point guard, now gives it up.
He got away with it one time this game.
Guyton, good pass to Recker. And to the hoop is Patterson. Good block that time. Stevens.
It's going to dunk. He's going to dunk the basketball, and you can see Stevens did a nice job, came over, knocked the ball away. It should be Penn State's basketball, you would think. As Patterson comes down with it, it hits him. He touches the line. It should be Penn State basketball. Eric Harmon coming over, voicing his opinion.
Jerry Dunn knows it should be Indiana's ball.
That's a good call by the officials right there.
See, it's tough being a Big Ten coach. Even when it goes your way, they don't crack a smile. He's still serious.
He's thinking, man, we got away with one here in Bloomington. How about that? Whoosh.
And Tommy Rucker explaining to Bob Knight, and we saw clearly it went off Patterson.
It was a good job by the officials of huddling together. There was obviously some disagreement. They finally came up with the decision that it was the right decision.
Booth way outside.
Indiana, I'd like to see Calvin Booth handling the basketball out there about 22, 23 feet from the basket.
Guyton on the switch stayed right with Lisicky to bother that shot. Patterson comes away with it.
Lisicky sometimes has more trouble with the little guy that's very quick.
Gladness misses, fights for the rebound, and Penn State comes away with it.
Indiana having trouble scoring points here to start the second half. 2 minutes gone. Indiana not yet on the board.
Oh, good up and under move that time. That's Stevens with the hoop, and Indiana's lead at 10. At one time it was 22, now only 10. Patterson off.
Should have been an over the back on Luke Recker. I think they got him. Good block out by Lisicky.
Indiana one shot only each time down the floor. Bob Knight off the bench. 2 fouls now on Recker.
Very surprised that they're taking Lisicky out at this point in the game. They're really making a run here. A three-pointer could knock it all the way down to 7.
Greg Graves checks in for Lisicky.
Penn State just not the same team without Lisicky. You've got to get the ball down inside the Booth, you would think. Or let Stevens get down inside.
He thought about it. Gladness came back.
That's a travel. Sure enough, he knew it as soon as he did it. Eric Harmon was standing right on top of it. Little shot fake. Feet left before the ball hit the floor.
Lisicky will probably not be on the bench long. Jerry Dunn over talking to him already.
This is where you'd like to see A.J. Guyton get the ball in his hands. Either a drive, get a layup for Indiana, or a good shot.
Guyton on the baseline draws the foul.
No shot. They call it on the floor. Indiana will have the ball out of bounds.
And the shot clock reset. Ivory picks up his second foul. Way outside to Patterson. Again, the one-handed grab. Oh, screen by Patterson. Ivory fought through it. And Guyton missed the shot. Now the fast break. Crispin has it. And the block by Patterson got him with the body, though.
Good block by Andre Patterson. But Crispin, very, very good as far as taking the ball up, jumping into the defender, gets the foul. Coming right at you. Right here, Andre Patterson does a nice job. You can see the offensive player obviously initiates the contact right there. He jumps back into the defender. As a defender, you have very little chance right there. Andre Patterson makes an excellent block.
Crispin averaged 32 points a game in high school. Gray's number 30 also at 32 points a game. So Penn State with a couple guys in there who can score.
Indiana yet to score a point here in the second half.
Hits both, cuts the lead to 8.
Over 3 minutes gone.
6 straight points for the Lions. And Booth again forces Patterson to change that shot.
He's going to score right there. He's big man inside.
That is Jarrett Stevens. And this Indiana crowd on their feet trying to get some points from their Hoosiers. Guyton. And the three-pointer outside.
A.J. Guyton's the guy that can bring him back. Even though he didn't score a lot of points in the first half, still he and Recker seem to be the guys that really hit key baskets. Nice knockaway right there by A.J. Guyton.
The steal to Lewis. Recker bobbles it and turns it over.
Recker thinking about the three-point line rather than catching the basketball. He was thinking about taking that three-point shot. Catch it first.
Ivory fakes. Cross court. This is Grays. And good block there by Gladness. Easy rebound. Crossover by Guyton. And the whistle. He really brings that ball high on that crossover dribble. But it's gotten him open several times.
In the old days, I think they called that a carry.
Not anymore. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus network.
Very hot out of the locker room. You see Andre Patterson takes the ball strong to the hole. Didn't get into the body of Booth. You can see right there, he's got that long wingspan, knocks it away. Long pass to Stevens on the other end. He converts, and Penn State within 6. A.J. Guyton comes off the screen. Good screen by Gladness. He buries the 3, gets Indiana back out to the 9-point lead.
Calvin Booth with all 3 of those blocks for Penn State. Indiana underneath its own basket. Both teams have been man-to-man the entire game. Indiana now struggling second half shooting, over 60% the first half.
Indiana just not very sharp with the basketball here in the second half to start.
Recker inside.
Good pass by Gladness. William Gladness had 3 assists in the first half. That'll be number 4. Good hands by Luke Recker to come up with that ball.
20 points now for Recker. Lisicky back in the lineup. Recker right on him.
A lot of movement into Penn State. That's the second time we've seen Gladness come over and make that play.
Guyton pops for 3. Had plenty of rebounders, but the ball came out too far. And again deflected by Gladness. Good defense by the junior. Indiana wants to break. They do to Lewis.
Oh, good move.
And he gets around Lisicky.
You can see Luke Recker got that ball and he decided to hold it up. Coach Knight jumped off the bench. He says, we got the numbers, let's go. He threw it to Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis makes a good play for Indiana. Reach on A.J. Guyton right there on Crispin.
Trying to put the pressure on Guyton's first.
Crispin, not a real quick guard, but he's a very strong guard. He handles the ball very, very well. It's going to be difficult to take it away. You see Michael Lewis coming right into your screen right there. Good play right there, using his body, shielding the defender. Coach Knight would like to see him run it up and down the floor. You got Stevens, you got Booth in there both. He'd like to see them have to run the floor as much as possible.
Patterson tries the dunk, and Booth picks up the foul. Bob Knight wants an intentional call as Booth tried to catch up to Patterson.
Tommy Rucker says definitely not. He says, I'm right on top of the man going for the ball. Quick hands by Andre Patterson. You can see Booth, he's going to go after the ball right here. Patterson, well, I don't know. That is questionable. At first, I thought he was going after the basketball, but he really just kind of slapped Andre Patterson.
3 fouls now on Booth, 12 points for Patterson. Patterson had that ball in his right hand, and Booth slapped at the left.
Booth had no chance of going up and contesting the shot, and I think Coach Knight saw the play maybe a little bit better than I did. And that Booth definitely just going after the foul.
Now Indiana, the lead back up to 15, so they recovered from a slow start to begin this second half. Grays outside is blocked by Recker. Guyton, Recker open.
Look at Gladness fight in there inside, though.
Loose ball. Indiana's going to pick it up.
First and 10.
Crossover. Lewis.
Oh, that's one he ought to shoot right there.
Too many passes. He got it to Gladness. And the rebound.
They end up with the basket. It's good hustle by Indiana. You'd really like to see Michael Lewis, who's an excellent shooter, when he finally gets that shot. Don't fake out of that shot as Penn State's going to go for a 20.
Jerry Dunn needs to talk to his team. This 22nd timeout is brought to you by Spiess. And here's the Big Ten free throw percentage leaders by team.
Now that is
leading
an
the
important
conference.
stat. I mean, look at those teams. Last year, Indiana was, what, second in the country, around 76%. You got 4 teams above the 70%. Well, that's good shooting there.
Indiana 4th in the conference. Here's Indiana's last time down the floor.
You'd like to see Lewis take that shot. It kind of fakes himself out of it. He's going inside to Gladness. He's still got it to him. Good hustle. Ends up getting the 2 points. You can see Coach Knight, he was up off the bench right there. More than anything, it was about the enthusiasm, about the hustle of the play. Wasn't the prettiest play in the world, but Indiana really scrapping, going after it. Indiana ends up with 2 points.
Indiana fans behind each basket on their feet most of this second half. It's good to see the crowd into the game. Crispin outside for 3, and Gladness having a fine game on the boards. Pulls down another one.
Oh, I didn't see him, but obviously A.J. Guyton saw him.
There wasn't much room, but Guyton got it to Gladness. He has 6 points now.
See, when Guyton is really active, he really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Booth showing he can step out there and hit that 18-footer.
Booth now with 16 points. He and Lisicky carry the load of the scoring for the Nittany Lions. Gladness against Booth, and that jump hook is good.
William Gladness using his quickness right there. There's not a lot you can do. If a guy can learn that little jump hook, because you've seen a lot of guys throughout college and in the NBA, if you can learn that little jump hook, there's just not a lot you can do to defend it. Especially if you're as quick as William Gladness.
Lisicky on the baseline, tipped away. 3-on-2, long. And Recker rolls it over the front of the rim.
But a good job defensively. Good play by Recker right there. Rather than trying to go up and dunk it, which he did try to go up and dunk it, he still knew he didn't have enough under him. He just laid it in. A.J. Guyton going to get another foul in the backcourt.
Second foul, almost identical by Guyton. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network.
Indiana on fire the last 3 minutes of this basketball game, has moved the lead out to 21. Going to see Lisicky's going to drive the baseline, try to give the ball back. Good help defense by Gladness. Indiana tips the ball. Lewis comes up with a Recker on the move. Going to try to dunk the basketball, but if he can't, just lay it in. They all count the same. You see Guyton very active with the basketball, finds William Gladness wide open, just not much room. Now when he handles the ball and does things like that, he really reminds me of Isaiah, the way he'd really get involved in the offense and just find you. I mean, you knew if you got open, you were going to get it.
Lisicky, the bank shot is in. Thought he was fouled. Indiana had built their lead to 21. Lisicky now with 14. Gladness with the jam, assist to Recker.
See the big guys for Indiana inside really starting to do a better job of working with one another. Their interior passing much better. Lisicky just a bomb up there from about 27 feet out. He's not real picky about his shot selection.
And again, the Gladness inside and the foul. This one on Titus Ivory. That's his 4th foul.
Ivory very, very active in the offense. He's been guarding Recker a lot of the night.
Inside, Recker.
That's on Recker.
Slapped from behind to pick that foul up. And now 3 on Recker.
Shot right there. When you're a little tired, your legs are a little tired, that's, you go for that little touch shot. That's when you ought to use the board. That's what the boards are. You can shoot a little harder, a little softer. You're still going to get the help from the glass. That's a double.
Gladness went for the steal, but Stevens turned it over. Stevenson checks in, 42, and Rob Turner also in for Guyton.
Rob Turner with a big first half, came off the Indiana bench, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point line, had 10 points for Indiana. You can see turnovers, Indiana with 10, Penn State with 13. Both teams had 7 at halftime, so Penn State not handling the ball very well here to start the second half.
Gladness way outside to help. Robbie Eggers, 32 in the lineup now, and Recker
Calling a timeout.
He signaled for the 20-second timeout.
Sure
did see it. And it will be a 20-second timeout by Indiana. Quick thinking by Recker.
Especially when you get down on the floor, because so many officials, as soon as you move and you're on that floor, they're ready to call travel. So the first thing he did is he went to the timeout call. That way you at least keep the possession. You see the three-point shot. Watch how Recker sneaks in here and gets this basketball. It looks like Penn State's going to get it. There he is in good position. Sneaks after it, and you can see right away his guard's calling time. No official really sees him. Finally, Eric Harmon comes from behind, caught the timeout. Rather than a turnover, turns into a possession for him. You see the flash, stats flash. Both teams continue to shoot the ball very, very well for the game. Indiana dominating on the board.
Way outside to Eggers. And Lewis now to run the offense as Guyton is on the bench. Lane for Recker.
That was an outstanding read offensively, up-reading the defense by Recker. Lisicki trying to beat him to the spot. Instead, he took himself right out of the play, and Recker ends up with a layup.
Lisicki in and out at the other end. And same on the rebound shot, third time. And Eggers draws the foul.
Bob Turner had it in his hands 2 or 3 times. Watch Luke Recker right here. Now, Lisicki is going to try to beat him to the spot. So he tries to beat him to the spot, but nobody there. Now, Gladness is going to set the little screen. Ends up for a layup, all because he read the defense. Lisicki doing a good job trying to beat him to the spot. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about read the defense. See where the defense is going. Take what they'll give you.
Stevenson strong on that one. Ivory back in for Penn State. Andre Patterson in for Indiana. And Luke Jimenez also.
Indiana's got some great play from William Gladness. Really come on once the Big Ten season has started.
Stevenson missed both. Easy rebound for Recker. Patterson outside. Again, not much screening.
You can see Luke Recker gets caught standing inside. Once you don't get the ball inside, you need to move back out to the, either set a screen, get out of there. Luke Recker kind of standing on the block right there. When people get to stand on the block, there's not much movement in the offense.
Lisicki goes over Jimenez, and Patterson pulls it down.
Goes over Jimenez, but Jimenez making him put the ball on the floor. It's a good thought by Luke Jimenez trying to get it to Luke Recker. Luke to Luke. Is that Luke to Luke or Luke to Luke or
close enough?
Yeah, something like that.
9 minutes left. Indiana by 23. So a slow second half start by the Hoosiers. The lead got down to 6. And now Indiana's moved it way back up. Here's Patterson. He draws the foul.
Going to shoot some free throws here.
That one on Klein Hurd.
It's only the 16th foul. Now the next foul by either team will put each team into the bonus.
Recker. He likes that drive to the basket.
Good shot fake by Luke Recker. Did a nice job of waiting on the fake. Waiting on the defender to jump out, take advantage.
Crispin to his left. No room there for that pass. Crispin picks it back up now. Ivory waits for Turner to go by and then nails the three. Turner on the baseline, runs out of room and travel. Booth is back in the lineup, as Grays is also. So Penn State trying to put one last rally together. Still 8:02 left. Down by 22. Record tries for the steal. Long rebound right back to Ivory. Kick by Recker resets the shot clock. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus network. Country. Kentucky now surges ahead of LSU. Michigan State having an easy one at Columbus. Kansas has the early lead over Iowa State, and Illinois holding its home court against Minnesota. 7:44 left. Pretty well played game by Indiana for the most part. And lots of points scored by the Hoosiers, 73 already. They averaged 79 in the league play. Good pass inside by Grays and tipped back in by Stevens. 12 points now for Stevens.
It's important for Indiana to really spread the floor out. They've got some good quickness. Rob Turner, some people that can move to the basket. Recker inside. You don't want to get it too tight down on the lane. You get too many people posting.
Turner tries a three. Sicky, he likes that shot right there.
He's a different player when you make him put it on the floor.
In and out.
See Indiana kind of standing around. You'd like to see him to get the offense a little higher, spread it out just a little bit more. Crowd chant they want Robbie Eggers to take that three. Robbie Eggers knows
not a wise move.
Not a good move, and he knows that there will be plenty of shots in the next 6:24, and I'm sure he'll get one of them.
Jackson checks back in. Carl Jackson, the 6'8" sophomore. Stevens leaves with 12 points. A.J. Guyton checks back in for Indiana. So even a 20-point lead. Guyton back in for Jimenez. That foul will go on Jackson. Patterson much more aggressive in tonight's game.
He really came out of the gates very, very aggressive. He'll get a chance to shoot a 1-and-1. Oh, it's only the 6th foul. I thought that, yeah, Andre Patterson can really make a difference for Indiana when he comes out and he's very aggressive. And a lot of times it has to do because in the game plan and looking at Indiana's game plan tonight, you knew that they wanted to drive at Calvin Booth. So he really, I think, felt an importance in the game and coming out and really getting Indiana started in the right direction, and he did. Did an excellent job scoring points in the first half and just being aggressive.
Turner above his average tonight, gets that one to roll in. Now 17 fouls on Penn State.
Rob Turner's got the ability to be a big contributor for Indiana. It's just the focus. He needs to really focus in on both ends of the court. And he needs to learn to score without the basketball. He's a guy that likes to score points when the basketball's in his hands, one-on-one. If he learns to read the defense, make cuts, he's a guy that'd be very, very dangerous out there for Indiana.
Action underneath. Lasicki trying to get open. Guyton with the foul.
Lasicki's pretty good about running around screens and acting like somebody's holding him all the time. He's done that about 3 or 4 times tonight. He's got the scorer's mentality.
That's 3 on Guyton. Takes one to no one.
Look, it's kind of funny. Gray stepped in there to shoot the free throws, and Lasicki said, "What the heck is going on here?" He says,
And shoot knows when it's his
That's right. You know when it's your turn to shoot free throws. Get out of there. I shoot 93% from the free throw line. Get out of there. I'm the guy supposed to take these.
Lasicki hits that first one.
I knew I liked him. Oh, now he'll be mad. Look at him. Look at him. He's thinking, man, I had another point. I can't believe that guy stepped in the lane. What is he thinking?
Carl Jackson steps over the line.
There will be no food on the bus for you tonight. Lisicky being the senior, he's thinking, man, taking points away from me. Get out of here.
Guyton to get on top, into the lane, quickly into the lane, and an opening.
Yeah, he swings that ball back and forth and still lays it up off the glass. So soft.
12 for Guyton, but now another foul as Greg Grays takes the drive to the baseline and the foul on Guyton.
Yeah, there's only 5:30 left. He's done an outstanding job tonight. He scored points. Most importantly, when Penn State made a run, you know, Coach Knight's just going to tell him you got to move your feet. You got to quit grabbing. You got to move your feet and get in a defensive position. But A.J. Guyton, a very important player for you. You see his stats, 12 points, 4 rebounds. But when Indiana was having trouble scoring, he's the guy that got.
Grays with the free throw. And hits both. Indiana's been giving up 73 points a game in Big Ten play. Doesn't look like Penn State will reach that tonight. They're at 56.
Indiana scoring 79 in the Big Ten. It looks like they probably will get to that.
And the foul that time. Recker went up quick enough. Booth had to foul him.
Pretty good block right there by Calvin Booth. And the thing about him is you just think that you've got him beat. Take a look at it. Luke Recker's just sure. He sees him coming, but he's thinking there's no way that he's going to get to that one. Really a good block. He's just got such long arms and long reach. He just knocks balls away that you just think there's no way he's going to touch.
Recker hits the first.
Adds to his total tonight. Remember, he had 18 points at halftime. Well over the 20-point mark.
Just out 27 now for Luke Recker. Grays all the way in. Slapped away by Lewis.
Good play by Michael Lewis as far as bringing the ball back out.
Recker up, misses, up again, blocked. Eggers.
He'll get that one.
Yeah!
Good hustle by Robbie Eggers. He's a real crowd favorite right here. Good hustle. Didn't take any bad shots. Just waited till his turn came.
Greg Grays from the outside. He hit 6 of 11. 3-pointers against Michigan State. He likes that shot. Inside Recker. There, he got the easy one. Nice assist by Turner.
Rob Turner again when the ball gets in his hand. Look at the hustle by Robbie Eggers. That's what Coach Knight likes to see right there. A guy like Robbie Eggers who works his butt off in practice, coming in doing the job. Luke Recker not quite sold on the idea that he's a shot blocker yet, so he took it right in there on his nose one more time.
And he got it slapped away. Gray's same spot, a little long. Easy rebound for Ivory. And the putback. Season high now for Luke Recker, 29 points. Here's Patterson. What can he do on Booth? The jump hook goes down.
Andre Patterson's a real force when he really focuses in on what he needs to do, as he did tonight.
Good pressure by Lisicky, or by Recker on Lisicky, forced to miss the shot. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network. It's Indiana by 23. Time now for the Synergy Power Player of the Game, brought to you by Synergy, where energy comes to life. No surprise here. Luke Recker, career high 29 points.
His last two right there. Good assist by Rob Turner. Luke Recker in the right place at the right time tonight. A lot of good hustle.
And that's made him our Synergy Power Player of the Game, on the bench for a well-deserved rest. Stevens slips as that ball came to him, but Eggers knocked it out of bounds. Witkowski, 45 in the lineup. for Penn State.
That guy's not any relation, is he?
No.
His name, it kind of ends like yours.
Well, that happens a lot.
Oh, okay.
18 points now for Lisicki. He hits a jumper. He loves out-of-bounds plays. He steps behind that line, ready to fire. Jimenez does. 5 3-pointers in a row. He hit all 4 of his 5 shots in a row. He hit all 4 of his shots against Minnesota.
3 3-pointers in a row and 5 shots in a row. Luke Jimenez, very focused. Doing a nice job off the bench for Indiana.
Stevens inside. Eggers.
Good defense by Robbie Eggers.
Lisicki, his second 3 in a row. Jerry Dunn wanted a timeout call, but Lewis picked the ball away before it could happen. And now a whistle.
Witkowski.
Guarding Richardson. That is on Witkowski. 7 foot, 270 pounds. Much bigger than any other player out there right now. Here comes Mandeville. I take that back. Mandeville at 7 foot 250, and so the big guys will match up inside. Eggers comes out with a big hand. Richardson hits the free throw. His first points.
Take a look at Pete Lisicki. Again, he catches, no dribble, sets, squares the shoulders, buries the 3. At this point in time, not much chance they're probably going to win this basketball game. Lisicki having the scorer's mentality. Could be looking to load it up from anywhere.
Inside, good pass. Stevens hits the layup.
Good cut by Stevens.
14 now for Stevens.
This will be the last team that Indiana plays that they'll only see 1 time this year. There are 4 teams that Indiana will only see 1 time.
Lisicki behind the back, and Mandeville with the foul as he tried to hold on to Titus Ivory. Ivory still down on the floor. It was a hard foul, but not. Let's watch.
So he tries to grab him, but he got caught up in the air.
Good pass there by Lisicki. Ivory, 210 pounds, and Mandeville landed right on him.
I think he'll be all right. I think he'll get up unless he hurt his back or something like that.
He got up on his knees, and now he's back down again. Now the trainer comes out. Let's update the scores again. 4-point lead by the Wildcats.
Tight one down there in Baton Rouge.
Michigan State with the big lead over Ohio State. They'll remain on top of the Big Ten. Kansas 7 points over Iowa State. And Illinois 14 over Minnesota.
Not always an easy game for Michigan State. We noticed after the Indiana game they went to Northwestern, won in overtime. They're obviously a little bit more focused as they went into Columbus, Ohio tonight. Ohio State has played most everybody pretty close this year.
Ivory leaves on his own power on the end now of the Penn State bench.
Must have, I don't know if he caught his chin. There's a little blood there. That's why they brought Gray in to shoot the free throws.
Grays comes in, and he'll get the 2 free throws that would have gone to Ivory. Hits both. Turner baseline. Patient offense by Indiana. Lewis, that ball slipped out of his hands.
Plenty of time for shots.
And deflected away out of bounds off Lewis to Penn State.
And not a team that can go one-on-one other than Rob Turner and A.J. Guyton. Those 2 players, you can put the ball in their hands, they can really create.
21 points for Lisicki as he leaves the game, averaging right at 15. So good night for the senior. Crispin outside. And Mandeville the rebound. 1:40 left.
Indiana players trying to get Richard Mandeville a shot here.
Mandeville, not even 1 point a game average. The crowd likes to see him get a basket as well. Gray steps right in for that steal. One-on-one with Lewis. Nice little move, but can't get the shot. And Richardson comes away with it. The foul, though, on Grays as he goes for the steal. That will be 10 on Penn State. 2 free throws for Luke Jimenez. And Bob Knight, a conversation with Larry Richardson.
Well, this is an awful big win for Indiana. Puts them at 7-3 in the conference. It's in 3rd place behind Michigan State and Purdue. And there's an awfully big game coming up next Tuesday.
Indiana goes up to West Lafayette to take on the Boilers.
Boilermakers very, very tough in their home gym. I mean, they're a great basketball team anyway, but when they play in their home gym, Michigan State, I think the only team that's been able to beat them there this year.
And a big game for Michigan State. Iowa comes to East Lansing this Saturday.
Iowa not played very well of late.
Oh, good move inside. That's Stevens with the reverse layup. 1 minute left. 16 now for Stevens.
Well, we didn't think they'd ever make it 73, but they did make it.
They did, with some 3-point shooting from the outside. And right at the average, Indiana gives up point-wise. Luke Jimenez on the jump shot. It's good.
Some water on that man. He's hot.
7 now for Jimenez. Another big scoring night for Indiana. 92 points. At 95 on Saturday against Minnesota. And this foul is on Mandeville.
The second personal on the team's head. Both teams now with double bonus until game 10.
There's the Indiana bench. Coach Craig Hartman talks to Luke Recker. Crispin hits the free throw. Lewis brings it down. About 4 seconds difference on the shot clock. The chant from Mandeville goes up. They want the big guy to take the shot. He's open. Steps behind the line. Hey, inside.
Hey, that's pressure right there. When you got to step back behind the 3, the crowd's chanting your name, and you still bury it. Now that's pressure.
That's great confidence. Hey, you didn't have to do that. Look at the smile on the big guy's face. Recker off the bench. Oh, my goodness.
See Michael Lewis, who plays a lot of minutes. You see Luke Recker, guys like that on the bench, they get a lot of minutes. They know how much work that a guy like Mandeville puts in, and you see them go over there really happy when he gets in the game, gets a little recognition, scores some important points.
Kleinherd hits the free throw. Don't tell me this crowd wants another one from the guy. Now that would be special, trying to take a second one. I'd take my winnings to go home. Man,
Yeah,
with the rebound.
that's what you better do.
Here's Jimenez. 10 seconds left.
Dribble it out. That's the best thing you can do in this situation.
And Lewis finds the opening, goes to Richardson, a foul. As Larry tried to take that one in. And that foul on the big guy, Witkowski. So this moves Indiana 7-3 in the Big Ten. 6 games left. Penn State falls to 3-6. So Indiana would still be 2 games behind Michigan State as they're ahead in their ball game tonight. Richardson comes up short. Turner has it. Jimenez tries the 3. And the tip is no good at the buzzer. And the final score, 95-76. Indiana wins it. Bob Knight and Jerry Dunn shake hands at the midcourt. Time now for the KeyBank Key Play of the Game, sponsored by KeyBank. Help at every turn. Here it is. Penn State had cut the lead to 6.
Exactly. The Penn State done a nice job coming out at halftime, got it all the way down to 6. A.J. Guyton hits a huge shot for Indiana, really turned things around.
You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network. Per game average right now at 79 points a game, probably put them around 80 with that score tonight. 95-76 Penn State. Indiana may need some of those points when they take on Purdue next Tuesday. Let's take a look at updated Big Ten. They'd be at 9-1, and Illinois is ahead in their ball game by 15. So assume they'll be 8-2. That puts Indiana now at 7-3, half a game behind Purdue. Michigan and Iowa round out that top 6, and then Penn State heads the group at the bottom 5. 5 Indiana players in double figures, led by Luke Recker, 29 points. You're watching Big Ten basketball from the ESPN Plus Network.
Do you know
85, Penn State 76. Be watching ESPN Plus on Sunday at noon Central when the Nittany Lions of Penn State travel to Evanston to take on the Northwestern Wildcats. And the Indiana Hoosiers return to action on ESPN Plus on Saturday, February 14th, when they host Northwestern's Wildcats. Action gets underway at noon Eastern on ESPN Plus. For Ted Kitchell, this is John Laskowski. Good night from Bloomington.
Indiana University basketball on TTV4. Brought to you by Ford, your Indiana